Good now, revolutionaries, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. A very Merry Christmas, very Happy Kwanzaa, Boxing Day, and Festivus, of course, for the rest of us. And I don't know about you, man, but I had a great Christmas. How was your Christmas? I was just kind of waiting to ask you because I wanted to get your fresh raw reaction on the air.
No, it was good. It was nice. Did some relaxing. Did presents, called families, all that good stuff.
Is that shirt new?
Yeah. Everybody loves magic, Evan.
That's such a cool shirt.
I needed one
absolutely
shirt that wasn't black in my wardrobe, but now I have one.
I'm bullish on that. I've got to say, if you need more, call us.
Don't come for me.
But
I see Allie's in the chat over on the TikTok side. It's good to see you. Thinking about you. Hope you're doing well.
Hi, Allie. Allie, which one? Allie, TFM Allie, our good friend?
No. I have you know who she is. Sage, Alexi. I have a bunch of her jewelry actually on my
Oh.
I have all kinds of stuff.
When you said Sage, I thought you meant like the serial scammer Sage. I was like, oh my, what?
I have
oh yeah.
She sent me this stuff.
Man, so cool.
Quite a while ago. It's gorgeous. And it came with an NFT, which bullish.
Yeah.
There's a picture too, but I just have the jewelry out. Anyway.
Okay. Very cool. Well, welcome, Allie. It's so good to see you. It's so good to see all of you. Let us know how your Christmas was if you're somebody who celebrates. And if you're not, that's okay too. We're here Monday through Thursday, except the occasional holiday, to answer your crypto questions. That's what we're here for. Alex and I are glad to help you navigate this space. Whether you're somebody who's just new to crypto, whether you've been working here a while, whether you're trying to get a job here, whether you're curious or skeptical about it, this is the best place to come hang out with other learners and ask your crypto questions. Everything from how do I start buying crypto to why is the market down right now to what makes Bitcoin so special. We want to help you understand what blockchain is and why it really matters so that you can get involved in what we believe is the absolute greatest innovation of this era of the internet. It's a true revolution in ownership, and it's for the everyday people like us. So let us know where you're tuning in from, what you want to know, and then we'll help you get started. I do have to tell you, though, while we're waiting for questions to roll in, that one of my Christmas gifts from Kimberly was, I don't know if you can see it on my face, but I got some of the facial cleanser that you use, as well as some of the moisturizer and Paula's Choice that Will uses. So my skin is about to be the best of both worlds. I'm fully expecting to be the most beautiful host of the Rise Up Morning Show in about 1 week's time if we're going by skin. So watch out, pal. I'm coming for you.
Perfect.
Welcome all our friends from Atlanta, ID specialist. Good to see you. San Diego, California. I know we have some Aussies in the house in the future. I hope that you had a wonderful Christmas there. I love that we get such a global audience, man. Isn't that great? Never ceases to amaze me. I was talking to somebody from the Discord last night about they were from the Philippines. I loved it. Someone asked, how do you get a grifter badge? And I think they meant gifter. I don't want
a grifter badge. Launch your own meme coin and it becomes your on-chain badge of grifting.
Yeah, if you want a gifter badge, all you got to do is send a little gift by tapping a little rose button if you're watching us on TikTok, or it looks like a little Christmas present. You absolutely don't have to. The best way to support the show is just by tapping your screen, by sending a comment, or by joining the Rise Up Discord server. It's like our hub for all the free educational resources that we offer. Plus, you can get a premium membership. You can get a coaching. There's lots of ways to accelerate your learning journey with us. You don't have to spend a dime, though. If you want those resources, they are at discord.gg/riseup. I will get them for TikTok on the screen in a minute, but everybody on YouTube and Facebook, they're here.
There are dimes you can spend but you don't have
There
to.
are dimes.
There's a lot of dimes you can spend on really cool stuff, but you don't have to.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas, Jower. Our good friend Jower is in the Rise Up Discord server. Oh,
Jesse
and you know,
says, shill XRP for the grifter badge.
we talked
Ding.
about this a little bit last week in terms of the future of the show, but we didn't talk about something that we need. Jower is one of our great moderators in the community. He's been a friend of the community for a long time, has contributed much time and effort to helping the faceless many rise up. But we need some moderation help, I think, here on TikTok, especially. Yeah. We're working on YouTube and Facebook pretty well, LinkedIn, hi everybody, Twitter. But if you have interest and are one of our friends who's here regularly and would like the controls of a band hammer, let us know. We can hook you up. Alex, have you seen any crypto questions come through? Or are we just going to have to keep doing our song and dance routine?
Nope. So someone asked about Aave specifically asked about the charts. I couldn't tell you about the charts, but I can tell you what an absolute behemoth Aave is. And I actually had it on my list to go through a little bit today. So why don't we just start with that?
Actually, I think that's a great idea because I'm hoping you'll pull up the website. I haven't seen it since you told me about how beautiful it is.
I got you.
I got you, he said.
But first, we got to look at the llama because right here on the home screen for the llama, DeFi llama, that is, we've got total value locked across all ecosystems. And so up here, this is every blockchain combined. Ethereum, notably, more than every other blockchain combined, just for the record, still to this day. Ethereum is still making $2 million a day in revenue. So, pretty good. But look at this. The 1 month changed 14% in total value locked added to the platform. Aave is the highest TVL protocol anywhere in Web3. Past Lido.
Wow. Past Lido, which is, for people who don't know, the leading staking protocol for the Ethereum chain. All of these top guys, they're Ethereum. Surprise. Shocker.
Yeah. Wow. Everything is Ethereum.
So this is the TVL that they've accumulated, and 14% of that is in the last month. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Eigenlayer has been pretty solidly in number 3 for a while, but Lido has been number 1 for most of the time, and Aave passed it because Lido has not really grown at all in the last month and is actually down 10% on the day, which makes me wonder how much of that, or on the week, makes me wonder how much of that has gone into Aave. But I mean, Aave over here, making just a ton.
Yeah.
And if we look at their, come on, well,
take your time, Aave.
While it's thinking, let's go over here. So Aave's been doing things. We're up 100% on the month. But what I really wanted to show you, Evan, was this ridiculous website because...
Yeah, I wanted to see the new website because the way you pitched it made it sound like, oh, baby. It's like they clarified, simplified, and streamlined.
It's clean.
You know we love a good website. So as you're researching cryptocurrency projects, there are lots of different tools that you can use. We've looked at 2 of them so far. We've seen DeFiLlama.com and we've seen CoinGecko.com. And now we're doing the third thing, which is we're taking a look at the official website, which Alex, if he didn't know, could have grabbed from either of those other places because they're going to report it for us. It's always important to verify with another source that you're looking at the official website because surely Aave has a lot of scammers.
Yeah, this one is just, good and easy, Aave.com. And then
if you want to play along at home.
If you want to play along. Here's the redesign. Well, it's not super new, but new to us because we haven't looked in a minute. Because I've been sleeping on Aave for sure.
Honestly, me too.
I gotta say, I'm not super upset about this intro thing. I think primarily just because, largely Aave is for people who are in Web3. And if you're here, you'll probably see it. I do think it would be really cool if there was even a little bit. Like the only part here that might not make a ton of sense to somebody is that they've taken this spot in the opening paragraph here to just say largest liquidity protocol, which this is one of the things that I've been kind of harping on lately, is not to say that there's really a problem, with any of this. Like, it's not wrong. If you've been around the block for, even just a few months, you probably know what this means. But if you were brand new and you came across like, an Aave advertisement out somewhere, because I fully expect that in the not too distant future, you're going to, the same way that you would see a Super Bowl ad for American Express or for Visa or for any of those, I fully expect that you'll see one for Aave, because why wouldn't you? Aave, Uniswap, any of these big Lido, any of these big protocols that just have a simple objective and execute it very well. I could totally see that. And you wouldn't want to like have the Super Bowl commercial use the line largest liquidity protocol, just because
no.
Way too many people that you'll be trying to reach would not really know how to get there.
And I wonder if it would be worth it to have like a basic or advanced version of the website that says like, what is DeFi? Or I don't know how you design it. We're obviously not UX designers, but something like that would welcome new people to understand what Aave is if they had like seen a Super Bowl ad, and then this version. Because I mean, honestly, it's pretty simple. Access the full power of DeFi is good, because even if you don't know what a liquidity protocol is, you're probably like, oh, DeFi, I've heard about that.
Yeah,
I'd like to learn more.
But I mean, even just something up here that basically, said exactly what I'm doing here in a term that way more people are going to understand. If you didn't say, DeFi liquidity protocol, supply, swap, stake, borrow more, like this seems simple, but the thing that I've just come to realize more and more and more is like here, for example, earn interest and borrow assets is like way better.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Like these should be switched, in my humble opinion. And I get it. Like you want to flex the stats, right? Because we've got introducing the new visual identity. So apparently this is, newer. So I don't know how long. There's no date on this. I don't know how long ago this is. But point is that like this as a thing, meet Aave, earn interest, borrow, makes way more sense. Yeah, and like totally. I can tell this is a money thing, so I'm either into it or I'm not. But Evan, I was wondering, like this visually just looks more MasterCard-y, more Visa-y to me, and I wondered if that was any part of it. Like, are they coming for it? Because they should.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I just love the branding. I'm a big fan. Language is getting close too. It's not bad, but could be better. Anyway, that's Aave.
That's Aave, baby. And the other thing that I want to point out about it, just that you had kind of, hang on, let me flip myself around here so everybody can see me. I think a lot of people are investing in crypto because they're looking for the next 20x or 100x or something like that. They're investing in a lot of really risky tokens and protocols. And I think what we love about Aave, if I had to summarize it, now that I've got my whole camera, and the reason we're spending time on it today, even though it's the largest DeFi protocol in the whole space, is because it generates predictable revenue. It provides a solution that people actually use every day. Many crypto companies, they're venture style investments. They're not going to be here a year from now. They're going to have a pump and they're going to go to zero, whether they're meme coins or altcoins or whatever. Some of them will never pump again. Most of them are never going to pump again. They're on a downward journey. Aave, at the very least, is a company I expect will be around tomorrow. Dude, and they have a huge pool of not just users, but like governance users.
Aave has more TVL by itself than pretty much every other blockchain on the planet.
Pretty much every other chain. Yeah.
So like, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Not to say that it couldn't be replaced by something, harder, better, faster, stronger at some point. But in my humble opinion, the people who, would be too worried about that are also worried that like Ethereum is going to disappear in the next year. And it's just not.
No.
It just isn't. But Evan, I wondered you could zoom out a little bit more too, and just kind of share your thoughts on how do you feel? I have some very specific thoughts about where I think the market is right now, and I'm curious because my input here. This is why it's a little bit harder to do this full kind of analysis without Will, because I really like to compare the two things, because Will has very much a data-driven opinion. All of the different things that he checks and looks at and analyzes in order to kind of try to figure out where we are, where we might be going. It sounds silly, but almost exclusively just on vibes. Like I read the same things from the same people, from the same groups of people. I get my comments and I just like sort of aggregate all of this sentiment. And generally, I feel like I have a pretty good handle on things, to where, lately it hasn't really been leading me astray. But I'm curious, Evan, kind of where you're at.
Totally. I would agree with your assessment, but I would not call it vibes. I would say I'm being reductive, but yeah. No. I would say it's terribly data driven. And I would say it's more selected, curated, filtered data. Like, you
just stumbled on my next t-shirt, Evan. Vibes are data too.
Vibes are data too. Yeah. Okay. Bullish. And the state of the market for me, and how I assess it, is the number one indicator to me that I read sentiment with is my network of people. So I was telling someone yesterday, we were having this conversation in the Discord, which I finally got on the screen for TikTok, and I'll pop it back up for everybody else, is the number one investment I have made ever was creating a personal brand. Taking the time to start creating and consuming content on TikTok specifically with the intention of growing an audience, of learning about cryptocurrency as an investment opportunity and as an industry, and then becoming actively involved in sharing what I was learning and teaching others, has more than anything allowed me to, like a magnet, attract opportunities to connect with people, protocols, tokens, you name it, such that now I know who all the movers and shakers of our space are, pretty much. If I don't know them, I know somebody else who does, probably personally. And I have not only colleagues, people like you, Alex, who work here every day, but I have a whole community of people who are watching right now, who will, if something is happening, they'll tell me about it. And I will know from what they say how I feel about it. Like the fact that I have hundreds of comments every single day on videos about cryptocurrency tells me a ton about what's happening in the market right now. I made a video on this recently where it's such a unique and privileged perspective. And it's not a trifle. Like, I noticed a significant uptick about a month ago in new users asking, how do I buy this? Yes. How do I create a wallet? I could tell it was very different from the comments I had been getting before, which were like, I don't think in 2 years this layer 2 is going to scale this way. You know what I mean? It was like the bear market people before. And then there was a very market shift to retail people. And I have noticed from my perspective that the crypto folks, there's a real stark contrast. And hear this, if you're in the audience, you probably won't get this perspective from a lot of people. Not to say we're special, but this is kind of a rare thing on TikTok to hear this, especially. And it's a rare thing on crypto Twitter to hear this, because those people aren't as plugged into what I would call everyday folks. Oh yes, Alex, we are special.
Crypto Twitter is screaming at each other from the same room that they've been all sitting in together for the last 6 years, and they're getting real sick of each other.
It kind of stinks. They need a shower, and
they all need a shower.
It's very scammy. So the people who live and work there, they are fine. Okay, they're totally fine. They're loading up. They're preparing for 2025 to be a strong year for cryptocurrency, because the U.S. has a bunch of favorable regulatory changes that are happening or are incoming that we've yet to see the actions or effects of. They are actively leveraging attention from newcomers, and also the capital that newcomers and institutions have brought in the last several months to our space. They're doing just fine. Most of them are not that worried, but they are aware that euphoria is building. If they're worried about anything, it's when is the top going to come, and what am I going to do to be well positioned for it? Their bags are already packed. And then there's the people on the retail side, people like us who are everyday investors or users of cryptocurrency, and they are pretty panicked right now. I would say not panicked, but they're frothy. One day they're up, the next day they're down, they're hot, they're cold, they're in, they're out, they're yes, they're no. You know, cultural critic Katy Perry observed it this way. And I would say that's pretty true. So, but it doesn't reveal, it's not like one of them is right and one of them is wrong. It's just that one group of people has had a lot more time, experience, and perspective. This group of people, these retail investors, they're buying Bitcoin, feeling like it's too expensive, buying altcoins, hoping they'll take off, meme coins too. They're looking for the next pump, and they're trying to predict the future, worrying what will happen next week, tomorrow, on too short a time frame. The last thing I'll say, because I want to hear what you have to say on this, is I think that the best thing those folks can do is zoom out a little bit. Instead of trying to catch every falling knife, pick the perfect token, or time the market exactly, they should focus on doing less, like buying less stuff, buying less tokens, swapping in and out of tokens less, and building the skills, the fundamentals that will help them navigate this market, no matter what the price is doing, and focusing on something close to them that will help them learn a token that's been around for a long time, like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, as opposed to looking at a meme coin chart and trying to figure out what's this thing going to do next when there's absolutely no data to go on there. You know what I mean? Those kind of things are going to inform every decision they make down the line. It'll be applicable to every investment, not just crypto. And it's the kind of thing that'll give them a little more peace too, and reduce that kind of frothy choppiness that folks are feeling. What do you think about it? Did I have a good read? Did I check the temperature correctly?
Yeah, I can add some of my own context. I think we're relatively aligned. And just so you guys are aware, if you're in TikTok, YouTube, any of the chats, and you're leaving questions, I'm not going to do a ton of like reaching over and typing, but I'm writing all of them down. I got you. We will hit them.
Also, I'm going to bring Will up because I see he's here. Will, if you need a StreamYard link, let me know.
He probably
Alex,
does.
give us your take. I'll get Will the StreamYard link. So
Okay.
give us your take, brother. Oh my God,
The
look at
StreamYard
he's
link's
literally
not
on.
gonna do a whole lot, guys.
Look at this. Look at this idiot.
It's William Watson, ladies
Wait a
and
second.
gentlemen,
Will,
from the slopes.
Will, are you trying to tell me you don't have your laptop with you right now? What are you doing?
Unless my brother has it.
Oh my
You
God.
got laptop? No, he doesn't have a banana peel either. So
Oh my God,
I've never
Will,
been
you
more
guys are
bearish
so
on the
unprepared.
What the hell?
I know.
You didn't tell me
Okay.
we were doing this, otherwise
I didn't tell Chris we were doing this. I just wanted to see how we were.
First of
Well,
all,
for people who
Will
are
made
on
it silly.
Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or LinkedIn and you can't see, Will is literally joining us from the ski slopes. So
on the
what's
chairlift
the update before you got to shred the powder?
Well, Bitcoin looks like it might be starting a third corrective wave down. So that could be Bitcoin going down to 88K according to the futures chart. But if the 55-day exponential moving average holds, which is sitting at like 90K, right in that range, we've seen the bulls be willing to come in at 90 to 92. So we'll see if that holds. If not, a third and final corrective wave downwards to, at the very least, $88,000 is on the card. That's it for Bitcoin. For altcoins, they are showing squeaky noise. They're showing squeaky noise. No, the altcoins are showing a real desire to want to continue to go upwards, but that's not going to happen if Bitcoin sells off. So if Bitcoin can just hold flat, you'll see altcoins do some really cool things over the next few days. But, you know, we're at the mercy of Bitcoin as always, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well said. And when will you be back in your regularly furnished office so that we can look at charts and things together? Is that next week?
5th. January 5th, because although I will be back, I think I can do it on December 30th in the morning or December 29th in the morning, I think, for a day or two. And then I'm immediately flying out to Vegas.
Hell yeah. Well, listen, man, the fact that you make time to join us, even from the ski slopes, is killer. So thank you very much.
You guys can see the mountain.
Oh,
Beautiful.
looks nice.
It's a pretty.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, but I still have a few. I still have probably 2 or 3 minutes to chat, so don't want to disrupt anything. But I hope everybody's doing great.
Well, I don't know if you caught it. We were just talking about the sentiment of the market, and I had shared kind of my perspective on what the people who work here think versus the people who are just getting here or investing as retailers kind of think, and the difference in sentiment. And Alex is about to kind of give me a take on that, but I'd love, before you go, for you to use your final thought to give me, do you observe that kind of split? And what would your advice be to the people watching this who are mostly probably everyday investors and users like us?
Yeah, if you've been here for at least one cycle, probably 2, you're not really affected by this much at all. You know, you're used to riding things, seeing things fall potentially 70% and then riding back upwards to new all-time highs. You know, we've done it a million times before, depending on how many cycles you've been in. And for the new people here, it's absolutely horrifying, and it's the end of the world because you've never experienced anything that goes down 70% in, you know, like 2 weeks, unless it's a bankrupt company, right?
Right.
In which
While
case,
still
it's going
not being
through
a scam. Yeah.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, all of these coins are scams and Ponzi schemes. So, you know,
This
it's all
is true.
speculation.
This is true.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's if you bought at the tops and you're down, you know, you're kind of in a position where you got to hold, but you can look at a very large audience of people, myself, Alex, Evan included, of people who have done the exact same, held, and then seen it come back and go into the black. You know, so long as the macro picture holds up, we don't hit a global recession, all that stuff, yada yada yada. But yeah, so just stay a little calm if you can afford to buy in at some lower price points to lower your average price so that you get back into profit sooner. That would be a good move too. But I would just kind of like say, control your emotions a little bit and take this time to reevaluate the market. Educate yourself on some coins that may or may not be hot that you may want to get into, and try to understand what you did wrong when you bought the top. That's
Well
what I'd
said.
say.
Before you go, can we get a dolphin noise?
For the people.
Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you very much. It's truly good to see you as always, and good luck on the slopes today. Drink lots
thanks.
of hot chocolate.
You'll see me ski a little bit because I don't want to take my glove off and put my phone down because I'm about to get off the thing. So I just won't say anything for a moment.
He just wants to show off.
I really do want to show off.
Okay, I'm going to mute your microphone in case you scream, and then we'll catch up with you a little bit later, okay, man?
All right, thanks, dude. Yeah, appreciate it.
Good talking to you, Will. Man, what a guy. So
What a dweeb.
tap the screen to give Will a couple likes, and if you don't follow him already, make sure you follow Will because he's a font of useful information. He'll be back on the show all the time, and we're just so glad to have him, like Alex is saying. So now, as we get a little background action of Will, the real one, Watson skiing, I just can't believe. Everybody on YouTube, I'm gonna have to upload this later, and you'll have to come to TikTok to see this in the future. I'm so sorry. Will is skiing in an alpine paradise,
Actively live streaming as he skis down the mountain.
So my apologies to you guys. Alex, continue.
So-
What's your assessment now that you've had 2 takes?
Well, no, and honestly, it's validating because I think we're all in the same place, which is nice considering that we kind of, look at not entirely the exact same, and certainly with Will looking at more of some, specific economic factors and stuff like that. But just like Evan said, I'm reading all of the comments that I get, the messages that I get. I'm watching a ton of content. I'm prolifically online. So I see tons of people's opinions. I read tons of stuff. And right now, as unhelpful as my assessment is, we're just on the edge of a knife where no one is really ready to declare that like bull run is fully back on, like we're all good to resume, straight up. Those same people don't want to say that the bull run could be over. No one really likes to say that because, who enjoys saying that? Nobody, except for the doomsayers. But what that means as far as the market goes is that any new sentiment, any new information can kind of tip you one way or the other. And it really just always looks like chop which can be frustrating if you are just sitting there kind of watching. You're looking at something that is meant to be an investment over time, and you're staring at it hour by hour, and it's not really doing it. It's up 5%, down 5%, up 5%, down 10%, up 10%, down 10%, whatever. And that can be frustrating, and that can usually lead people to falling into the trap of like, okay, well, I need more exposure now. And then they buy, and it's a local top, and then it crashes, and then they panic and they sell. And then they're down, and they realize a loss, and it's just like overall bad. But at the same time, it doesn't take much to send us a spike going the other direction. Like we saw the other day, Bitcoin was down to 90-ish and then up to 98. We almost went back to 100. So we're just kind of ranging. It's just this like chop up and down, up and down. And like Will said, the altcoins don't really have room to do a ton while Bitcoin is stealing the spotlight like that. And the way that this manifests online is that you get lots of very confusing calls, very confusing takes. People are trying to overanalyze, whatever data we do have. And Daryl says, really cool that you guys message me daily. So personal. Yeah.
No.
For anyone who doesn't know, we need to say this every 13 seconds from now on. Neither one of us will ever DM you. If anyone who looks like us, sounds like us, has a picture like us, or a username like us has ever messaged you, it is never us. It's always a scam. Block them the second that they send anything to you. Although if you're skilled and you've been around for a minute, feel free to waste their time. They are all scammers. Just lead them on a wild goose chase and, clog their inbox with a bunch of random dumb questions. Just ask them everything. Send them your shopping list. It doesn't matter. Just keep spamming them. That's about the only weapon we have against these people.
Yeah, honestly, truly is
to
it's
always
waste
a
their
scam.
time.
We'll never DM you. Yeah, ask them how their trading is going. Ask them how the markets are treating them.
I always like to try and scam them in reverse to say, hey, my trading's going great. I just got this new trading bot that's earning me like 18% a day, and I'm raking in the cash. Do you want to sign up for the beta? It's just $399 a month. I haven't gotten anybody to send me their money yet, though.
Well, actually, some of you may know the creator Hector, Crypto Comics.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why he's not doing this again this year, but he went kind of viral last bull run with a really funny video where he was reverse scamming them by luring them into a wallet that he had set up a scraper in. Getting them to, he was like luring them in with the exact same scam in reverse. And he was just collecting their gas money because it was all on ETH. And he would lure them into sending some gas into the wallet to like, pull whatever money he had locked in there and couldn't get out, and he was just playing dumb. And the second that they would send any gas, he would siphon it out, and he got a fair bit. It was hysterical. So Hector, I gotta text him, but it was awesome. The reverse scam.
Yeah,
anyway,
very cool. Scamming the scammers.
Just to put a cherry on top of my market thoughts, I would expect that we chop and we range for a little bit. I think that we could see, like Will said, if Bitcoin holds, some level that the masses deem bullish enough, it could recover a bit. I don't think we're going to make a new all-time high tomorrow. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. For the record, I'm totally willing to be wrong. Every time I'm wrong, it just adds more data to formulate the next opinion. But, at the same time, it really doesn't take much to fall down either. So I just expect, certainly into the new year, as we chop around, that it's just going to be volatile. Now, I will say, this is not for everyone, and please hear me when I say this. I don't recommend trying this. I don't really, because I'm not very good at it. This kind of a market can be a great opportunity for swing traders. Like if you're into that kind of thing, please just note that when you're swing trading, a few things are true. One, be agile and aggressive. Always plan for the price to go down right after you buy or up right after you sell. So what that usually means for me is I never sell or buy the entire position. If I've got $100 of stablecoins and $100 of ETH and I'm swing trading ETH, I'm selling 50 and 50, 50 and 50, 50 buying 50, selling 50, buying 50 at a time, so that I always have some stable coins and I always have some ETH in this example. That way, no matter which direction we go, because I'm not going to be right every time, I'm covered. And then also, if you're not good at it, if you're not good at it, do the thing I just said. Just be careful, protect yourself, be aggressive, be agile, plan for you to get it wrong. But two, these are all taxable events, so you got to keep track of them. If you're making a shitload of trades, you really need to keep track of them somewhere. Otherwise, you're going to get hosed come tax time. Now, with crypto taxes, I've got a video coming up today that I'm going to do just because it's getting more and more topical about tax loss harvesting, and I saw a comment about it earlier. So just keep in mind that right now, as we wind down the calendar year of 2024, you are coming up on the end of the tax year. So moves that you make now are taxable when you file taxes next April. Or if you're like me and Evan, you extend in March and you do them on the last day available in October next year.
But sometimes later.
Sometimes later. But all that means is that right now can be a good time to do something called tax loss harvesting. I do have tutorials and videos about this. It's also a very common practice that you can absolutely look up online and get information from professionals.
Good thing to Google.
Good thing to Google. The one big difference, just like Crypto Never Sleeps said, is that in crypto, still at this point, wash trading is legal. In the stock world, you cannot wash trade. And wash trading is basically selling an asset and then immediately rebuying it. So, let's say that you buy Bitcoin at $50,000 and it's gone up to $100,000. You sell it, you have made 100% return on your investment, and you owe capital gains on that profit. However, if at the same time you bought a different thing and it rugged, you can sell that and declare the loss. You can offset, there's a practice called netting. You can offset your wins and your losses together. So if you made $50,000 on one, but lost $50,000 on another, you're kind of net zero. You can also, if you lost more than you made, you can declare an additional $3,000 in capital losses against your regular income. So non-investment income. I have a bunch of videos on this. It's a lot. I have a whole video playlist, I think, called Crypto Taxes. It's all in there.
And we have recordings in the past with our friends, guests who are accountants, and we'll definitely have another live session. I hope to have a session specifically on taxes in the new year with Coinly as an example, just to show folks like how simple and easy it can be. It doesn't have to be hard. If you want to find out about that, the best place to do it is going to be in the Rise Up Discord server. We've got the link here on the screen on TikTok and here on the screen everywhere else. It's totally free to jump in and join, and that's the first place we're going to post, or the place the post will live forever and be easy to find when we say, hey, ask us your tax questions, because we're going to have, our accountant on, or we're going to have Angel on, or, there's a link up and sign up for the cloud, whatever. That's where you want to go to find it, is discord.gg/riseup. Alex, we have Doug, our good friend, waiting in the queue, and I know we have a lot of questions. I saw a question about White Rock. Angelo asked about Hyperliquid. Someone asked about, do memes pump after alts?
Let me wrap the tax stuff, because there's a few follow-ups, and then let's bring Doug up.
Oh, of course. I missed him. I'm so sorry.
So yes, the maximum that you can declare in capital loss for married filing jointly is $3,000 per calendar year. However, if you have more than that to declare, you can roll over another $3,000 to the following year, and you can keep doing that. And that $3,000 is what you can declare against your regular income. If you're exclusively talking about investments, you can offset 1-to-1. So for every dollar that you make in profit, if you have also lost a dollar in another asset, you can offset all the way. So the thing that people refer to as tax loss harvesting at the end of the year is basically just offsetting any gains you've made during the year by selling positions at a loss. And the thing that Crypto Never Sleeps in the TikTok chat up here mentioned about wash trading basically just means that in crypto, it's legal in the United States for you to repurchase the asset that you just sold at a loss immediately again. So let's say that you bought Bitcoin and Ethereum, and Bitcoin did really well and Ethereum did terrible. This is just an example. Bitcoin made you a bunch of money, Ethereum lost you the same amount of money. Okay, so you're net zero. You've sold Bitcoin for profit, you've sold Ethereum at a loss. You've covered yourself up and down for capital taxes. You can rebuy the Ethereum immediately to lock in the same amount. So you're in the same position you were. You still own the same, you've got the same amount invested, but now you've confirmed and realized a loss on paper for tax reporting purposes. In stocks, you can't do that. You have to wait at least 30 days before you rebuy an asset. In crypto, you have to wait seconds. The thing to remember, last thing I'll say about this, and then we can move on. When you rebuy that asset now at a lower price, so let's say you originally bought ETH at 4,000 and you just sold it at 2,000. Now, if it goes right back to 4,000 where you were at originally, you now owe capital gains on that profit because you rebought it lower. Your cost basis has been lowered. So you got to remember that. Not only do you realize the loss, but you do lower your cost basis, which just means that you could be on the hook for more taxes if profit comes back
in the future. Yeah.
So you have to weigh that risk for yourself when you purchase, just to make sure you're hyper aware that you are setting yourself up to potentially pay more in taxes. So you have to ask, is it worth it to offset, to realize the loss, to rebuy, to pay more capital gains later? Or would I rather just kind of hold it and pay the gains taxes on this win, cover it that way? But honestly, these are all decisions that you should be making with you, your family, your accountant, or an actual tax strategist. All I can kind of do is share the information, but I am not a CPA. I'm not a tax strategist. I'm not an accountant. I just read a lot, and I've been doing this for a while.
Well said. And wins are wins. Don't be afraid don't let fear of taxes keep you from investing money. If you're going to gain money, if you're going to make profit, that's a win. Are you ready for me to bring our friend Doug up?
Yes. And while Doug comes up, I will say, just because I just posted a video about this yesterday, someone asked if you can make $1 million out of 1,000 or something. I lost the comment.
Yeah. 10,000 to $1 million.
Yeah. It's technically possible, but it's extremely unlikely. And if it happens, it's luck, not skill, no matter what anybody says. So just be aware of, except for Doug. If Doug does it, it's pure skill. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at people who tell you that you can be a millionaire for $10.
What's going on, Doug? Merry Christmas, man.
Merry Christmas, gentlemen. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. I like the background. Very holly jolly.
I'm in my vehicle, so this is the only picture I can just find quickly to put back here. So because I know TikTok doesn't like that. So, how we doing? How are we?
Yeah, so far, so good.
We're good.
Feeling good about the end of the year. Feeling good about the show. Glad to answer people's questions.
I'm ready for you to financially advise me, Doug.
Got some new skincare for Christmas. I'm good.
Nice. By the way, I saw you Evan playing the other night. Look sharp. You're looking sharp. I only had a couple minutes to listen in, but good vibes. That's I'm envious because there was a time when I did that in a much smaller capacity and more drunk unless I went to college, and I had a path going there, but I kind of went a different path. So I'm I appreciate anyone sitting up there for as long as you do and playing full sets by yourself. Well
Thanks,
done,
man. I appreciate it.
So Alex, funny, I heard you say vibes, and for me being data driven, chart driven, I'm on that bandwagon right now.
Yes,
because
validate
it's
me.
It's almost like everything is so interconnected now that you could see and feel ripple effects of certain things happening, or when they do happen, it's like, okay, this is if X happens, okay, now either Y or Z, and to what extent, how much of an impact does that have or not, and based on that event happening or those scenarios, we'll set up the next one. And charts are obviously important, and they give you that kind of the guidance. And what Will said, I'm on the same page as him. Is if anything, I think here we see maybe down Bitcoin mid-high 80s, and then probably better guidance. But even outside of that, I think just right now there's a lot of moving macro targets, change in administration, end of the year, drones. There's all kinds of random stuff that just makes it's all connected. So I think I'm now in a position where. And I also, like you said too, Evan, on just the chat, in general, now I'm streaming a lot and I can see chat. It gives me a sentiment. That's one sentiment of chat. Then I have Twitter. All the different views helps you form a sense of what is reality right now and kind of where possibly go next week and the week after that. And just operating in 1 month to 3 month windows. And I think that's kind of the best way I can go right now. Because otherwise, outside of that, it's just completely just making things up on predicting what's coming next.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we've got this,
all we got for the moment. Yeah.
This conflict, right? Where you have an incoming administration that looks like it's going to be friendly to the industry. And you also have an incoming administration that is known already, one, because they said that it's their plan, and two, because they did it last time, interested in general deregulation, which, like Travis mentioned earlier in the live, we really need to see some sort of protection from, larger institutions who have the power to move markets that are this small from being able to do that so easily. And that does not bode well for this. So you have these two things kind of running into each other. One that is really good for the industry and a friendly administration policy wise. And then two, something that is friendly also to giant corporations and very wealthy individuals who can move tiny markets like crypto much more easily than they can move something like the stock market. And I think then just generally worry over what specific policies can do for the overall economic state of the United States. And the thing that I'm really wondering, I'm curious if you guys have any opinions on this, just because we've been talking about it literally for years, and we've never even really come close. But I feel like if anything has the potential to move the needle closer in the direction of a split between the crypto economy and the other economy, I feel like something like
decoupling.
This could test that, right? It makes sense that things could be struggling elsewhere, but nothing says Bitcoin has to struggle too. I mean, that's kind of the point of it, is that when other things are struggling, you can opt out into a system like this. And so I'm curious if you guys have any thoughts on, will we eventually see the thing that crypto bros have been whining about for years, which is, when decoupling?
So, yes, but I actually I'm not excited for when that does happen, because I believe if that does happen, there has to be something else has to break first for that to happen. And I'll touch back on that. What you just said there is key. I live in the enterprise space, and I just don't, the bigger macro economy, and outside of just the consumer, there's signals to me that are not favorable. I think big corporations they're going to lose significant power over the coming years, if not sooner. And I think that's an opportunity for crypto in that capacity, which you just mentioned as a decoupling effect or elements of it, flavors of it, right? And I'll use an example of what's the most recent. Let's just say Walgreens. Walgreens has, 5,000 pharmacies across the country, some crazy number, and they're struggling. Let's say, hey, we're getting rid of 25% of them. All right, well then there are markets and areas where communities where there's now there's an opportunity for a pharmacy to pop up that wasn't there before. I think small and medium businesses will have a larger opportunity to make a stance in the coming years than they ever have before. And in that capacity, I think where the Web3 part comes into play, and it's not there yet, that it could provide value to them of them operating or having different paths for transactions. When it's hey, I could have a Solana Play or Solana Pay, or I can accept Bitcoin, whatever it may be, wherever I am, that it may be more attractive for them to do that because of the nature of a small business and communities and aspect of that. So, but to get there, I think a lot of things have to break first. And to your point, Alex, is testing it. It's testing, can it be there? Because right now, the only thing we've tested in crypto is outside of just the degeneracy is well, how does this DeFi platform work? Is it safe? Is it you're basically trying to make things break to see does it make sense for real world adoption or folks actually use it? But you can't have the catastrophes that have been crypto in the past happen when all of a sudden now our parents are using crypto to buy food, right? It can't do that. You have to flush all these things out. So it's almost that when are the certain things to be able to start testing the waters in real life piece? I think we're still probably a couple of years away from that, but definitely some smaller opportunities for some areas of growth or testing the waters of seeing that. And in that regards, I think maybe you could start seeing pieces where the stock market does do crazy things in a negative sense, where maybe some crypto assets don't fall as hard, right? Bitcoin doesn't crash as hard. And maybe you'll say, hey, let's say the S&P 500, and I'll stop my yapping here in a minute, just takes a 20% dip, which I don't think it's going to, a massive correction. And Bitcoin only goes down 5% and then trades sideways. That to me is something okay, this is different. That's not, we wouldn't have expected that. But a lot of those things we'll have to see as they play out in the coming weeks and months. And I think that's going back to the point of just the vibe. What are we seeing on how all these things are connected or usually are connected, and are some of them not as connected anymore? and observing that, and then essentially changing your thesis as you're going through, and then just one day at a time. So that was a long answer to your question. But those are my thoughts.
I think it's helpful to remember too that any convergence or divergence is going to be rooted in, like, what is the brick and mortar reality? You mentioned businesses, you mentioned mom and pops. That is going to be a reflection of, like, the infrastructure has arrived. And I would say we're already at the place where some of the rails are laid for that. Like, stable coins are here, for example. But I think for a lot of other stuff, it's got to kind of, there's a lot of compliance, a lot of framework stuff. And I think we're going to see more of that in the coming years. So I'm 100% on board with your take, man.
No doubt.
I'd like to address this person who asks, are there any coins I should be buying at the moment? Because, man, they're so persistent. Not that I want to reward persistence, but just so everybody here knows, we see the chat. We try to answer every question. We don't always have time to, but that's such a good question. I would love to know what you guys think. I tend to think if somebody is asking others for what they should buy, that's a really strong indicator that they probably shouldn't buy anything right now. If you have to buy something, I think that would be a great time to move money you want to invest on chain, by which I mean take it from your bank through your preferred exchange and turn it into something like a stable coin. For example, if you're comfortable using Coinbase's platform or the Coinbase wallet, you might turn those dollars that you want to invest that are burning a hole in your pocket into the USDC stablecoin and just park it there. You don't even have to do anything to it. You'll earn about 4.5% on up to $30,000. And while you look at sites like DeFi Llama or watch the news or hang out with us, then that money is earning interest. And anything that you choose to invest in after building conviction, such that you feel strongly you ought to buy it without asking anybody else, anything you choose to invest in after doing that is going to be a better decision than anything Doug or Alex or I or anybody else could tell you to buy right now. So
yeah,
if you guys have something to add, let me know.
Just remember that if you're asking that question, it means that you are asking someone to financially advise you to invest in something, which means you're probably going to need that same person or another person to tell you when to sell the thing, when to no longer be invested in it. You're becoming dependent on someone else to be spoon feeding you information that really is only going to serve you poorly. In my experience watching people do this, you ask someone what to buy, that person sells you some pie in the sky vision about this thing that's definitely going to go up a gajillion percent or whatever. And then you become exit liquidity for other people and you bag hold that thing and round trip the whole thing till next bull run. Because you just have no idea what and when to sell. And if you're not building your own investment thesis into these things, then you're going to fuck it up. It's really that simple.
Don't get it twisted. There are people who will confidently financially advise you on the internet. But until we're at a place where these people can compliantly, legally manage your assets for you, then you're always going to be less well served by listening. It's going to be what Alex describes. You're going to be waiting on them, watching them. No matter how much you pay them, no matter how much access they give you, you would be best served to find teachers who will help you to become more self-sufficient. Jump in the free Discord community. That's our whole goal there. And I frankly would tell you we're very good at it. We have a strong track record. I don't say that to puff us up, but just to say there are a lot of people learning at all levels of experience who can help you, like Doug, like me, like Alex. And somebody asked just quickly about, is there a place to park my stable coins if I have more than $30,000? I'd love to know what you guys think, but I'm going to bring it into Angelo's suggestion. He mentioned Hyperliquid. There are many such protocols that if you're a level 1 crypto user, somebody who knows how to buy, sell, swap, bridge, store your crypto securely, that you can start to explore. If you're a strong self-custody user, I think hyperliquid.xyz is a great website to look at. I think if you go there and you don't understand it, that you're not quite ready yet, and you shouldn't take any further steps except come back and keep learning. But that's a great protocol where you can swap for stable coins, and it's hot right now. Aave is another one. You can earn yield on as much money as you care to deposit there, not just for staking it, but doing other things with it too. So yes, that's an opportunity that you can learn about, and we can talk more about it another day. Doug, do you have any tips for those people? Oh, you're still muted, brother.
Muted. Oh, how embarrassing for you,
Sweet.
Doug.
Yeah. By the way, there's no easy button for them to make the TikToks to get on there. You tap on the
No, and
pictures.
honestly,
What the hell's up with that, right?
dude, mine moves like every other week. Sometimes I have a mute button. Sometimes I have to click on my picture. Sometimes
Right.
it's in my menu.
All right,
It's
so I'm not
weird.
crazy. It's like they're A/B
No.
testing me nonstop, right? That's what we're
No,
trying to do. It's like
they just mess with us, dude. I swear.
yeah, 100%. So I'll say this: I think this is a great time to sit on your hands and do nothing. And I was saying this I just short streamed this morning. I wasn't looking at charts, but the best thing about, like, I guess trading or looking in markets is that you always have time to make a decision. Even if you go back and look at the collapse of Luna and way like that, FTX, like, yeah, there were some down days, but there was always a time where it came back up before it was over. So if there's, like, even right now, I'm not saying that's the case, like Bitcoin dropped down to 90K, right? That was there. Now it came back up to 100K. That's here. So if I felt like, hey, I have enough signals that it's maybe time to sideline myself, I'm waiting for it to come back up. I'm not saying it always comes back up, right? But there's always an opportunity to exit. It doesn't have to be hey, I'm driving, I get a notification that Bitcoin's dropping down to 90, 88K, and I'm pulling over and I'm selling. Like, don't do that. Like, just, you have time to think and make a decision. So right now, obviously, if everyone in the chat here, surrounding yourself with the individuals on this stream, maybe not me, these other guys more importantly, but it's like they'll give you, you'll hear the tone change. You'll see things that's there, and hey, we're still being cautious, or this is something. I know Will's very straightforward, like, hey, I've now moved to stable coins and things like that. Like, he's doing that in anticipation of not knowing where things go next. So the less reactive you are, the better off you're going to be, and surround yourself with the creators that are not telling you to buy something. If you notice on this stream, and I wasn't here from the beginning, but I can guarantee no one here said go buy this or go sell that. Right? That's so if you keep that objective mindset and wanting to constantly learn, of like, just get a gauge for the vibe, let's call it, of what's going on, you'll set yourself up for more success than being reactive of buying this because someone told me that, or selling this because someone told me that. But right now, end of the year, 2025 is going to be pretty crazy. We had a great year so far. If you're not in the position, that is also a position. Not being in owning an alt is a position. So right now, that's something to keep in mind. Yeah. And like, for me, like, I'm 50 in, 50 off, but like, I'm in no rush, zero rush to go back in until I have something that gives me confirmation of, hey, we're resuming back up only. But right now we're just chilling. It could have been a lot worse. I'm actually surprised how well things are holding right now. That's a good sign. So just take that in, spend some time with your family, and step away from the PC. That's it. I'm done. That's my final thought.
Well said. Thank you, Doug. And it looks like you're walking in about to do some business. So have a great day. Make lots of money, and
all right, guys.
We'll see you in the new year, man.
One day. See ya. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye for now.
Doug.
Peace.
Yeah,
that's Doug, ladies and gentlemen.
That's such a good position. I'm always collecting like new bumper stickers. And I think that's a great one. I've never really considered, like, all cash is a position too. That's a good one. I'm gonna remember that one. I do want to just a couple quick comments. I'm seeing some stuff about people looking to join the Discord. If you're new to Discord and you haven't used it and you struggle with it at all, it is like not the most beginner or user friendly application if you're not used to it. Evan and I are spoiled because we've basically been living in it for the last 10 years. But if you need help, just let us know. We've got some tutorials. If you can just get into the server, we will get you where you need to go. It's pretty streamlined. You're gonna find a little welcome channel that'll get you verified, and there is the general chat. If you can just get in there and get verified, we'll help you out with everything else. You're looking for anybody with a red username and the rainbow check mark after their name. That's the admins.
Yeah, we have a lot of helpful people there who would be glad to assist you. And I know we've got good. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I keep forgetting. When you join, within 10 seconds, you're going to get a DM from an impersonator who looks like Evan or I or Will trying to DM you. Just ignore every.
It's not us. It's still not us.
No, it's never us. And honestly, even if it was and we were so stupid as to DM you, you shouldn't reply. Just get in the habit of not replying to DMs.
Yeah.
Ever.
Fact check yourself, brother.
Yeah, if any of us ever need to get a hold of you, the only way we're going to do it is to tag you in public in the general chat where everybody else can see it. We're never going to try to like silo you. privately if you have
No.
like an ongoing
No.
issue that is just for you, like you can't get your account connected properly or something like that. We will talk about it in general, and you can open a help ticket, but it's never going to be DMs. Don't reply to DMs ever.
Yeah, no. Well said. I know we have a lot of comments coming in, and there are several that we want to address. Especially, I say let's just do some rapid fires. If you've got a question, leave it below. Let us see it in a comment. And Alex, I will defer to you about where we should start, and I'll go back and make sure I haven't missed any. Yeah.
Sure, hit it.
Oh, okay, great. So the first thing I wanted to address was this question that we've gotten a couple times. Is it possible to turn 10K into $1 million? Is 10X in crypto a realistic number? Should I expect it to change every day? And the answer that I would just give somebody is, instead of focusing on the $1 million, that's such a far way off. That can be a motivating dream, but in terms of orienting your action, next steps is helpful. Like you don't start pursuing your dream to go be in the NBA by like just hoping you'll wake up in the NBA. No, you practice dribbling a basketball, and then you practice shooting, and then you get friends who also play basketball and you play with them. So instead of focusing on, can I make a 10X, just focus on, can I sell a cryptocurrency for profit? Any amount of profit is good, because as we've seen, the question of how do I take profits? When can I take profits? What do I do? How do I build that strategy? That is a subject of much consternation for most crypto investors and most investors generally, especially if this is like your first time investing. That's a better thing to focus on. Before you want to make a 10X, just focus on, how can I safely use crypto? And as an investor, what's it going to look like for me to get a little bit of profit? All becomes easier from there. Legendary 90s rocker. Chill, my friend. You got to chill. Alex, we also had another question about the timing of the market. Does it always happen that that meme coins and altcoins and Bitcoin flow according to a certain cycle? There's a lot of content right now about this 4-year cycle, about where we are in this cycle, about what's going to happen next. And I'm seeing a lot of questions from people about when is altcoin season going to happen? When it does, which tokens will pump? Can you speak some helpful knowledge to these folks?
Yeah, sorry, and say the second half of the question again, because I was replying.
Yeah, the second half of the question is, when altcoin season?
Oh yeah.
Do memes pump after altcoins? Is there any validity to the 4-year cycle? And can I predict what's going to happen next? Is the question behind the question?
Yeah, no, I think that it's fracturing. So I don't know. I disagree with people who say the 4-year cycle is a myth, because it's happened pretty consistently since the beginning of the industry. This is really like, the third or fourth, depending on your definition. We've had multiple halvings for Bitcoin, and usually that kicks off some sort of a run. But in terms of like when a market has actually existed to behave in a 4-year cycle, it hasn't really been that long. Three or four of these things, and the fourth there being pretty teeny. Typically, yes, the cycle is halving, Bitcoin runs, Bitcoin chills, altcoins run, altcoins chill, garbage runs, garbage chills, bear market. The thing is,
put it on a t-shirt.
The thing is that it's been fracturing every year. Something changes. Never enough to be as drastic as people want it to be, wherein we'll never see another bear market again. Every cycle, I make the same 2 videos. I make, what if we don't get the bear market everyone's expecting, or what if the bull market doesn't happen the way everyone's expecting? And so far, they've never really played out, and I kind of do it just to like prove a point. But yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that memes are not just going to run after alts this time. Memes are just going to keep memeing the whole time. They've been memeing for a year. I don't imagine that will ever stop. I think that the casino is going to exist as long as the casino can function. People have discovered exactly what it is, and it's a place to go when the rest of the market bores you too much because your attention span is too short. And these things just rip. It's not like a thing where every single meme is going to run. It's just a thing where, something funny is going to happen, and a meme in that honor is going to run, and it's going to do things, and then it's going to die, because that's what memes do. You know, the hype never lasts forever. A note to all of you participating in influencer-led memes: they will get tired, they will get bored, and they will give up after a while. It's very easy to be hyped when the chart's moving up, but the second it dumps, everyone loses all hope, and everyone realizes that it was bullshit, and they were just paying each other repeatedly in a little circle with the same amount of money. So just keep that in mind. Don't, I wouldn't count on it. So no, I kind of little tangent there. You can't really predict when the alts are going to run, especially while Bitcoin is still trying to figure out what it's going to do, whether it wants to sit here below 100 for another month or two while being strong, or if it wants to go back to 110 or push higher. But until Bitcoin figures out what it's going to do, alts are probably going to be spotty at best, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, well said. And the indicator I would look at is Bitcoin dominance. A lot of people will talk about it. Will uses it often on our show. We can show you how to use it in the Discord server. Angelo asked, and I want to use this as a way to segue, about don't forget to give us your thoughts on Hyperliquid. I mentioned this earlier as a place where you could park in any amount of capital. That would be a great place to stake and earn a yield on stablecoins, or lend and earn a yield on stablecoins. Hyperliquid is a growing DeFi protocol like Aave. It had one of the most successful airdrops of the last year, and maybe ever, depending on who you ask, and has been a reliably growing source of DeFi yield for people. I think it's a great protocol. I think it's been battle tested. I think it's a good level 1.5 or level 2 place for people who are already experienced DeFi users. I probably wouldn't send somebody there to learn. It's a legitimate website. It relies mostly on layer 2 networks like Arbitrum. If what I'm saying is going over your head, that's okay. I'm kind of intending for it too. There are a couple of other things you can learn about first. Angelo, if you want to get started specifically using it, let us know in the Discord. Angelo, also, I got to give some extra applause too, because Angelo is a premium member. So thank you very much for being you, man, and letting us support your learning journey. We really appreciate it. If you have a specific question about like an altcoin, you want to know about OKX, or you want to know about XRP, then have I got a treat for you. Check out our YouTube channel, Faceless Labs. You can find it through their website, theriseupmorningshow.com, and look for the After Dark playlist. Rise Up After Dark is our once weekly Wednesday show where we do nothing but talk to expert guests, review altcoin picks, drink beer, and chew bubblegum, and we're all out of bubblegum. It is the place to ask the question, thoughts on blank, and we do give priority to people who are hanging out in the Discord. You can join it for free. The links are on the screen. And if you want to leave your comment about thoughts on this project today, like thoughts on White Rock, thoughts on OKX, etc., that's great. We'll get to it if we have time, but that's the best place for it, and we definitely want to hear what your thoughts are. We don't like to give our thoughts until we know what your thoughts are. So let us know about that, and check out the After Dark playlist, because we've probably done a token that you want to see. We've done a lot of them. Alex, can you walk us through an exit strategy? That's something we've talked about on this show a lot. It was a great question. And I'd love to see what that looks like for you. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even see that you had something pulled up on the screen. Yes. Take us where you're going to take us, and then walk us through an exit strategy. I'm so sorry, brother.
I can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can do both.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
And this is also going to cover the question, which we've answered earlier. What are some good tools to use to research cryptocurrency projects? Yes. Alex has got DeFi Llama pulled up, and I'm going to show it with you.
I'm pretty willing at this point to straight up say that the best tool that exists on the internet to research cryptocurrency is DeFi Llama. And the best part about it is that it's all free. I have never run into a paywall on DeFi Llama, and that's insane. Like, every other tool has a premium service with, I don't know how they're making money, but like, they make me want to donate to them.
Yeah, I don't know how they're making money either. Honestly, I would be interested to know. DeFi Llama, if you're watching, this show could be sponsored by you with whatever money you're making.
I'm going to keep plugging them for free because it's that good. Someone asked about top decentralized exchanges.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, I'm just kind of like rapid fire writing down questions, but I'm not getting usernames. So I apologize in advance for not crediting you guys for asking good questions. But someone asked about top decentralized exchanges. You can come right over here to DeFi Llama DeFiLlama.com/protocols/dexes. And here is ranked every decentralized exchange, how much TVL they have, how many fees they've generated in the last week, how much revenue they've made in the last week, their total trade volume, market cap of the token, fees, expanded out to the day and to the month. So up in number one with a bullet, and it's not even close, is Uniswap. Biggest DEX on the planet. They index 27 blockchains now. They have billions of dollars in TVL, almost 6 billion. Someone asked about providing liquidity as an alternative to staking or earning other interest. Providing liquidity can be a great way to make money. It's definitely more of, like Evan would say, a level 2 play. It's not that simple, and it's more risky depending on what you provide liquidity for. I definitely encourage you to do some digging into providing liquidity before you take the plunge on it. But typically that would look like stocking a pool with a pair of tokens to support trading in and out of whatever that token is. So you could, on Uniswap, for example, provide liquidity to the Uni-ETH pair. You would provide both Ether and Uni tokens to a pool, and you would make money off of the trading and swapping in and out of that pool that you're providing liquidity to. It can be a good way to make money, but it's riskier.
Alex, can I actually just very quickly touch on this idea of risk? Because somebody asked earlier about stable coins and what's the risk of, parking my stable coins on Coinbase versus on Hyperliquid? What's the risk of staking versus providing liquidity? With everything in crypto, risk is layered, and it's not always like the same all the time. So it's really important, I think, when you're researching these kind of things, to think about it from a multi-directional angle. A lot of people only think about risk related to price. Could the price go to zero? But like Alex just said, if you're staking, that means you are giving a protocol permission to use one of your assets. Usually you're locking it up for a period of time. If you're providing liquidity, often you're not just providing one asset, you're providing two. And there's risk not only that they might be locked up, not only that their price might change, but that there's so many layers to risk. So it's very hard to treat anything as a catch-all. You got to think about it on a case-by-case basis. And can I add one last thing about DEXs, Alex? Yes. I wonder if you can Google this really quick. Just can you Google and pull up to show people how easy this is on your screen share? Does Uniswap support tokens on the XRP network or something like that? The DEX that works best is not just which one is trading the most volume on Uniswap. It's also the one that supports the tokens and networks you specifically want to use. If you're trading tokens on the XRP ledger, for example, Uniswap might not be a good fit because I'm pretty sure they're they got 27 chains. They're like McDonald's. They probably do support Ripple. I don't know. But that's why I'm asking Alex to Google it, because honestly, before you buy something, you should Google it. You should Google this for decentralized exchanges, and you should Google this for wallets too. Does Trezor wallet support Hedera Hashgraph? If you hold a lot of something and you want to get a Trezor wallet, before you buy it, you should ask that question. The DEX that works best, the wallet that works best, is the one that works best for you. Did it come up if you Google it, Alex? I mean, did it verify my claim?
Hold on.
I would also recommend Claude or GPT for this. Even though you got to double check what they say, they can often provide you a great jumpstart for almost all of your cryptocurrency research if you just want a compilation of resources and opinions from the internet. Better than Google, in my opinion. And probably Alex's too, yeah. Trust Wallet is my favorite. Someone said they support the most networks and tokens. Go ahead, Alex.
The best way to do this, honestly, is just to go to Uniswap. So this is
exactly.
This is inside of the app. So this is app.uniswap.org/explore. Hit the Explore tab up here, so you can see current TVL, current volume, whatever. Come down here, and there's a little menu. Evan, I got you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
This little grid icon right here will show you, so you can observe by all networks, or you can look and see. And so the thing to keep in mind too is that they don't index everything; they support a bunch more. So it's honestly, it's really hard to find the entire list. of everything, the best thing you can do is just to get in there and just look and see if the thing that you're looking for is supported.
Yeah, and if, for example, you notice Tether is listed twice here, or USDC is listed like 3 times, that's because, Alex, can you zoom in and show me the little inset?
Yeah, so this is ETH Tether right here. This is Arbitrum Tether right here.
Which you can tell by
Arbitrum
looking at that
USDC.
little inset logo. It's the Arbitrum logo,
Yeah, this
or
is
the base
this
logo.
is base USDC. Here's virtual on base. Here's wrapped Bitcoin on Arbitrum. Here's BNB on the Binance Smart Chain. Here's BNB Tether. Here's Arbitrum on Arbitrum. Here's bridged USDC over on Polygon. So they index quite a few things.
Yeah, and that's like a super, thank you very much. Every decentralized exchange you use, every wallet you want to use, every exchange you're going to use, it's going to have a page on their website like this. It may not be as clean as Uniswap's, but they're going to show you, whoever you are, and that's the best source of information. Don't, avoid asking people on Twitter if you can,
Yeah,
or looking things up there,
So there was a couple other quick rapid fire questions. Someone asked earlier about taxes on crypto if you use a Roth IRA to like trade out of the ETF, for example. Yes, that does work. You can do that. I personally do that. Not my max contribution, but getting back there. Someone asked about beginner resources to learn, and then there was another question about that, and I said I had one. So I'm actually going to switch and shout out a different one than the one that I usually do.
But definitely write out DeFi Llama, because that's a good one.
Definitely DeFi Llama. Usually I would say coinbase.com/learn, but Coinbase needs to do a little bit of work on its customer service. So get it together, guys. And so because of that, we're going to shout out the other one today. And it's actually pretty decent. So here is kraken.com/learn.
Whoa, Kraken. Okay. Seldom mentioned, but loved.
You can use either one. Yeah. I have been hot and cold on all of these different exchanges. Kraken and Coinbase are the ones that I use 99% of the time. And Kraken has a pretty good one, and it's getting better. So tons of different articles, terms you can look up, little good explainers. For example, you're brand new. What the hell is Bitcoin? Here's a good little article.
Yeah.
To go.
Super.
Blockchain in general, crypto in general, NFTs in general, DeFi in general, trading, research, all this good stuff. There's not as much here as there is on Coinbase, but it's not bad. This is a good place to start. And you can kind of just make a note of the terms that you see that you're unfamiliar with and use those to fall down further and further rabbit holes and look up more and more stuff.
Yeah. Excellent.
The other resource that I will encourage you to at least experiment with a little bit is ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity or Gemini, any one of those big large language models. You can use those to have a conversation with and ask it questions, especially if you're asking it to define things. It's really good at that. So if you're reading the Bitcoin white paper and you see a term that you're unfamiliar with because you've never read it before, whatever, just go over there and be like, hey, I'm trying to learn about blockchain and crypto for the first time. I am a beginner. Please explain consensus to me as if I'm in 6th grade. And it will do a pretty good job. And if it does it and you still don't get it, be like, can you give me a metaphor for this or something? Make an analogy.
Make it easier.
Help me understand. I still don't get. Just talk to it. Ask it questions. You can sit there and do that. I have a guide that I'm working on that will be available to all of the premium people for free and everybody else if you want to get it
for just a couple of bucks. Yeah.
Just on how to train a ChatGPT thread or equivalent large language model thread to be the ultimate crypto research assistant. I can't emphasize enough how good that is as a tool.
Also,
especially
Alex,
if you're just looking up and defining information.
Somebody asked about the other resources we offer. You have published a number of guides, But
Yes.
we also do coaching. Since somebody asked
Yes.
about it, the best way to find all the different resources aside from the Discord server where we can like connect you with them is the riseupmorningshow.com. You can book a coaching session with Alex or me or Will directly in about 2 minutes if you visit that website. And we've also got classes, recordings that are cheaper than that. And then the Discord is totally free. So we would love it if you're considering learning about cryptocurrency, if you'd hang out with us. We've built those resources to accelerate your journey. We spent a lot of time, a lot of money, banging our heads against a lot of walls to learn this stuff. And we want to help you get there quicker. Avoid the pain kind of thing.
Yep. And just because I insist on being a bad salesperson, if you would like to audit the whole thing and see whether it's worth it any of that kind of stuff, one, like Evan said, join the Discord and ask your questions for free.
Totally.
We can't take every question on the show and we can't be live 24/7 as much as I would enjoy doing that sometimes. But the Discord lives 24/7. So you can always ask your questions there. There's a ton of helpful people in there that can help you answer them too. And if you would like to step it up a notch, you can take a free trial of the premium. It's all through Patreon and all of the links are right in the Discord as soon as you join. And you can always get that free trial, get some priority on your questions, and then cancel it.
Yeah, honestly, true. I tell everybody to do that. Get the premium trial on Patreon. You can find it at our website. Sign up for every single class. You can take all our classes for like $24. Get a coaching session, and then rug us and run away.
Cancel it.
And if you don't want to, like honestly, it's it starts at $9.99 a month. The highest tier membership is $19 a month, and you save on everything all the time. So yeah, it's we really made it for people who want to do those things. If you don't want to do a coaching all the time, great. Don't get a premium membership, but also like it's great. Shout out to everybody in the premium chat who's like, there's some killer conversations there, man.
Yeah,
all the time.
That chat's kind of blown up now. So
it's like the best place on the internet to learn about crypto. I'm very bullish on the premium chat. Okay, now we do have a couple more questions. I know it's about that time we ride our dogs and ponies out of here, but you got time for maybe one or two more, Alex? In lieu of final thoughts?
Yes, I have one quick one that I wrote down that I didn't do yet. Someone asked just about saving fees on buying crypto, and Eamon was asking about buying and selling and cashing out and stuff. So yeah, the simple fact is that if you're looking to cash out from stuff, and don't worry, I'll get the exit strategy too.
I'll do that one. Pass that one to me. Okay, I've got it.
If you're buying or selling crypto on a centralized exchange, you're going to pay the fee. That's how these people make money. There's really no way around that. Coinbase has a subscription service that you can pay $30 a month for to save on the fees. And so if you're doing enough to where you're paying more than $30 a month, that is 100% worth it for things on the Coinbase platform. But if you're trying to sell or buy things that are off Coinbase, it really doesn't help you that much. You can still do that trading on the decentralized side and just send your USDC over to Coinbase and sell it out of there. And if you're going to pay more than $30 a month in fees, I would just subscribe, honestly. I've found that it's worth it. I kind of go in and out, like on months where I'm going to be buying and selling a lot, I'll pay for it one time and then I'll just cancel it. Other than that, there are not really a ton of ways you can cash out besides using a centralized exchange. Honestly, the only other real option is over the counter. And it seems
or
like
an ATM.
Yeah, okay. Well,
big fees, man.
Yeah, big fees and not super practical and not a ton of options. But over the counter is not just for super wealthy people. Evan and I can over the counter right between the two of us if we want. That's kind of the whole point of crypto. Crypto is like this anti-middleman industry that is full of really predatory middlemen. So you can skip all of them and just sell your assets right to somebody else. I've done it several times. There's no fees there besides the gas that you would be paying anyway.
That's right.
So keep that in mind. But other than that, you've got to use a centralized exchange and KYC to cash out into fiat currency and deposit it to your bank. You can also do it on platforms that are not Coinbase or Kraken by using Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Those things have limited crypto options.
And often withdrawal limits, like sending, spending, receiving limits.
Yeah.
Which you can find on their website.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, there's not a ton of options. I expect we will continue to see more. 5 years ago, there were way less. There's way more stuff, and we get more every year. So strap in.
Okay. I'm going to give you exit strategies with my final thought. This is your token, and I'm so sorry it's backwards. But this is how you think of it. Okay. So you bought this token. at $1. Okay, this could be any token. $1 per token is what it cost you. Let's say you bought $1,000 of this token, just to make it nice, easy, round numbers. I want you to think of exiting your position like a ladder, okay? Before you bought this token, you should have looked at the ladder. Before you climb a ladder, what do? You make sure it's safe. You make sure it's standing against something sturdy. You make sure you're wearing your shoes. You make sure you had your coffee that day, right? You don't just climb on any ladder because you see a ladder and you're like, wow, that's a tall ladder. I think I'll climb it. No. You look at the ladder. That's the first step. You assess the ladder. Once you've assessed the ladder, you see how high do you think this ladder could go based on where it starts, based on other ladders that you've seen standing against other buildings. You get this analogy? You see where I'm going? Okay, great. So you bought in. You did your research or you didn't, and you're doing this research later and you're assessing where this ladder could go. This is the most important number after this one. Your average buy price is the most important number. For this example, you bought in at $1 per token. That's your average price. You spent $1,000. But maybe if you bought it again when it was $1.50 and you bought it again when it dipped to 50 cents, your average buy price is still $1. That is the basis for the rest of this ladder, okay? For where the other steps are going to be and where you exit. The next important number is the top of the ladder. You want to look at this token as a company and ask yourself, based on comparing it to other similar companies, where do I realistically think the top of this ladder is? Okay. For example, I recently bought into a token called Morpho a couple months ago. Morpho is a lending protocol. There are many lending protocols on many blockchain networks. There's a lot of basis for comparison for this token. Why did I buy it? I bought it because I assessed the ladder. It was standing on the base network, the fastest growing layer 2 blockchain. So it's got the security of Ethereum. It's super sticky. Devs are building there at an increasing rate. They're staying there. It's got a lot of attention, a lot of mind share. And this particular lending protocol, compared to a leading lending protocol, was like less than a tenth of the size. So I had lots of basis for comparison. I had lots of other ladders that did a similar thing, that were standing against similar buildings. And this helped me say for that token what the top of the ladder might be. Now, once you figure out what this number is based on that kind of research, you don't just want to ride the ladder like an escalator all the way to the top. No. I think it's helpful to say, what is a more conservative top? Like if this number was 12, for any token like Morpho, for example, $12 a token, then instead of saying, I'm going to wait till it's $12 and sell, I'm going to draw out my little ladder. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a more conservative estimate of the top. 5 is way more conservative than 12. Wouldn't you agree? But pretty much anybody, pretty much anywhere would say if they wrote an investment from $1 to $5, that would be a big time win, right? So I'm not just looking at $5. I'm not just looking at $12, but I'm looking at other psychological moments along the way where it would be important and helpful for me to take profits to safeguard my investment. When that token hits $2, I'm going to take some out, maybe 25%. When that token hits $3, I'm going to take some out, maybe 50%. Maybe I'll take 100% of the money that I invested with out. And at that point, I'll still have 2 times the money left over. If when I bought it, it was $1 and when I sold it, it was $3. We're going kind of fast here. I hope the ladder visual is helpful, but in this hypothetical scenario, I am selling at points along the way. And maybe if I still believe the ladder is standing against a strong building, I'm buying back in if it goes down. But what I hope to impress upon you is that there are many rungs to this ladder. Keeps me safe as I'm climbing up. And eventually, once I get to about here, all of this left over, that's money I didn't pay for. I've already taken profits. I've already covered my taxes. I've already covered my costs. I'm in the green. Everything else is what we in the business call a moon bag. And the most important step, aside from, making sure your ladder is safe, is actually climbing it. Like, did you take profits? If not, if your system is too complicated, your ladder required too many steps, then you need to simplify. Alex, do you have anything to add to my absolute masterpiece of a drawing?
No, it was great. I'll just say to simplify and summarize, the ultimate thing to remember is that if you have the opportunity to get up and leave the crypto table with more money than you sat down with, you just won. Even if somebody wins more than you, you still won. It doesn't mean that you didn't win. So keep that in mind. The biggest trap in crypto that people fall into, is not realizing profit on sketchy things that they happen to be up on. And if you have the ability to objectively look at this stuff and recognize that not all of it is going to last forever, and if you're like up 500% on some weird ass altcoin that you bought, consider taking some of that money off the table and paying yourself back, because it might all disappear. And everybody in crypto, every single person has a story, at least one, about round tripping a ton of money that, oh, they could have sold, they just didn't. And if only I knew what I knew now, I would have sold it. You know, I was waiting for a way higher top that never came, and now I'm back at zero. I am one of, hi, it's me. I am people.
The call's coming from inside the house,
yeah.
guys.
Evan is people too. Round trip. I tell people all the time, like, I feel like, you know, it's embarrassing, but it's probably helpful to say, I round tripped $250,000. All right. Made it off of a relatively small investment. Thought it was going to go higher. Didn't pay myself at all. Round trip that whole bag straight back down to barely more than I started with. Don't come for me. Yeah. You know, am I proud of it? No. Will I ever make that mistake again? Absolutely fucking not. So learn from me. And don't be me. You don't have to have one of these stories if you don't already. You can take that piece of free advice from me. Don't forget to pay yourself.
Yeah, well said. We got to go. If you haven't already joined the Discord server, it's discord.gg/riseup. And thank you very much for being the best part of the community. We will be around this weekend. You can check out our videos, check out the YouTube channel, check out all the resources in the Discord and at theriseuppmorningshow.com. And then join us back here again, same time, same place, Monday, when we're back for more of the Rise Up Morning Show. Until then, my friends, everybody stay safe, be well,